It's time for the Brainiac Minute. Get ready. Here's your host, John Boyce. Monday.
Multiple choice to kick off the week. Which animal comes first in the Chinese Zodiac? The tiger, the ox, or the rat? $25 points if you had the rat. The Chinese Zodiac is a traditional classification scheme based on the Chinese calendar that assigns an animal and its attributes to each year in a repeating 12-year cycle. The Zodiac traditionally begins with the sign of the rat and is followed by the ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. In Chinese astrology, the animal signs assigned by year represent how others perceive one or how one perceives oneself. It is a common misconception that the animals assigned by year are the only signs, and many Western depictions of Chinese astrology draw solely on this system. There is, in fact, also animal signs assigned by month called inner animals, by day called true animals, and hours called secret animals. Mark your calendars for May 25th. I'm hosting 90s movie trivia and a movie night at the Capitol Theater. 4 rounds of questions, all from movies from the 1990s. Round 1 is comedy, round 2 is science fiction, round 3 is novel adaptation, and round 4 is action. It's all on May 25th, starting at 6 o'clock at the Capitol Theater.
Tuesday.
The Boston Celtics won every NBA championship during the 1960s except one. What team won it that year? Be 1967, the Philadelphia 76ers. After being traded by the Warriors just 2 years earlier, the 76ers were led by Wilt Chamberlain. They beat the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals and then went on to beat the San Francisco Warriors 4-2 in the finals, giving them their second championship. In Game 6, the two teams combined for 84 points in the first quarter, which set a new postseason record. That record has been matched in 1994 and 2003, but never surpassed. The 76ers would not win another championship until 1983, and have not won another one since then. The Celtics, meanwhile, won the next 2, giving them 9 rings in the decade and 11 in 13 years.
Wednesday.
In the hit song Check Yes or No by George Strait, what was the name of the girl that passed the note?
It started way back in 3rd grade. I used to sit beside Emmylou Hayes.
Yep, Emmylou Hayes. Written by 2 Nashville songwriters, Danny Wells and Dana Hunt Black, and of course recorded by American country music superstar George Strait. Released in September of 1995 as the lead single from his box set, Straight Out of the Box. It peaked at number 1 on both the U.S. Billboard country charts and the Canadian country charts. It was awarded a CMA and a ACM for Single of the Year. Check Yes or No remains one of Strait's biggest singles even in the streaming age. It also still regularly attracts hundreds of weekly spins on key country radio stations like WANT-FM 98.9 and was ranked by listeners as their favorite CMA Single of the Year the preceding quarter century. I think they checked yes.
Thursday.
What famous inventor also acted as a tutor to Helen Keller? So much, in fact, that she dedicated her autobiography to him. Alexander Graham Bell. After a difficult start in 1887, Anne Sullivan broke through to Keller when she traced the word water on her hand and ran cold water over it. Keller retraced the word on Sullivan's hand and then eagerly went on to learn 30 more words that day. Writing to Bell shortly thereafter, Sullivan described the breakthrough as a miracle. Bell quickly spread word of her accomplishments, publishing an account of the events in various journals. Before long, Keller had become somewhat of a celebrity. Bell, who had learned finger spelling to communicate with his mother, acted as Keller's personal guide in teaching her about modern science and technology. She accompanied him on numerous trips and lectures. He eventually created a trust fund for her, which would later help send her to Radcliffe College in Boston, where she became the first deaf-blind person to graduate.
Friday.
We're going to go with multiple choice to close out the week. Which of the following was used as a distress signal before SOS? AMA, PGX, or CQD? CQD. Now that's a combination of two older codes, CQ, which is a pun on a French term, and D for distress. CQ was commonly used by wireless operators and land-based telegraphers to address all stations from one signal. However, the ability of CQ to convey distress was diminished by frequent use. CQD was widely used by the British, while Germans used SOE and the Americans used NC, which meant call for help without delay. In 1906, the International Telegraphic Radio Conference standardized communication by suggesting SOS, which is easier to signal because of its distinct dots and dashes sequence. In case you ever need it, the Morse code signal for SOS is ... This
podcast was produced from the Brainiac Minute. Airs daily on WANT 98.9 FM at 9:10 a.m. and 4:30 p.m.